Hello farmers, welcome back to Goldcrest Valley. Just brought back the 8230 John Deere with our rented planter for the month. I finished planting the wheat in the field down by the cow barn. That is all done. I've been walking around these three fields here at the main farm, checking out crop rotation, because I forgot to in the wheat field, but I lucked out in the wheat field, as we saw at the end of the last episode. Crop rotation at the cow barn, that's 115% if I remember correctly. But over here, we're going to be planting oats in this field here, gotta remember, canola in that field up there, and barley in that field down there. I was going to go with soybeans in one of the fields just to mix up even more. And you said, well, you did mix up. You got three different crops here, but I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, we can't plant soybeans until April, and I don't want to keep the drill an extra month because we are leasing that one. So also between episodes, I was up at the BGA doing some testing, trying to figure out the silage situation. So I spawned in a silage bale. I walked around looking for a spot to sell it, would not take it, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to go with my gut feeling saying it's only going to take loose silage, and that's all I could get it to do was take loose silage, selling it right here, and then it goes right to the BGA. Now, the one thing I didn't see because I got the interactive zone markers off, this is where you buy the BGA at. The marker is here. Just trust me. If I turn on the markers, you'll see it. But you can see the upper left-hand corner, R, buy production point. It's $250,000 to buy the BGA. Now, this BGA here on Goldcrest Valley, it only produces methane and digestate. It does not transfer it into electricity. What you would have to do on Goldcrest Valley if you want to do electricity is get the BGA, produce methane, and then you would have to come over to here to the power station, buy the power station for $100,000. You bring the methane over here, and then you have to go to the store to buy transformer oil, and then that's how you sell electricity here in Goldcrest Valley. So basically, you got to spend $350,000 to make electricity. Is it worth it? I don't know. We may give it a try here on this series. We'll get into that just a little bit more once I start planting. I've been looking around also at production buildings to figure out if I want to do anything right away, or at least with the money that we have, because we do got money, and we're going to spend some money right now. So the reason why I wanted to go with soybean, soybean up here is because, well, we're going to be buying some fields with canola already in it. And the three fields I picked, they all got canola in it. But let's go ahead and buy these fields right now. Field 17, these are already planted and growing. So this is $84,000. We're going to buy that one. Field 19 is $139,000. We're going to buy that one. And we're going to buy the one up here by the sheep, field number 23. And this is going for $93,000. We're going to buy that one right there. All those are planted and growing with canola. That's why I was kind of hoping to plant something different other than canola over here. But I don't want to go with the old cereal crop either. But that brings us down to just under $500,000, which is a good amount of money, actually. Let me switch this over to oats. Oh, wait a minute. I parked it here to remind myself I just want to top this off. You don't want to open? Isn't it end open? This one does not open. And you're not filling either. Okay, why can't I get you to fill here? Maybe because I reloaded the game and I didn't actually drive you into the trigger? Oh, this is interesting. That's not going to work. All right, let's lower it down. So I can't refill this directly? Well, that is kind of interesting. All right, let me figure this out here and see what's going on. Well, down at the store, buying bags, we'll have to fill it up that way. I mean, that is the same, that seed hut or buying point is from Omatana, and that's the one we used on Solyndra and it worked fine. But I guess with this drill here, this drill automatically opens. I guess it's one that you can't open manually, so maybe that's why I can't top it off. I have no idea. But now we're full of seed. Not quite full of fertilizer, but if I got to come back here, then I got to come back here. Doesn't seem like that long of a trip from the store to the farm, but if I got to keep making that trip, I got to keep that in mind if this is a drill that comes up for sale in the store, that I can't fill it up with our lovely little buying hut back at the farm. But anyways, now we're full of seed. We got oats and fertilizer. Well, we got seed and fertilizer. Now we can get back to the farm and actually start planting those 3 fields and get the crop into the ground. Well, the way things have been going, I'm going to double check on this. So it's oats, then wheat, which was in this field. So if we just go oats and then wheat, and we're planting oats again, you can see the crop rotation is going to give us 110% in this field here. So that's what we want to do. And it shouldn't take us long to get these 3 fields planted. Then we got to go down and fertilize the grass field down at the cow barn. That is technically ready for harvest, but we're going to wait another month for the grass to grow full height. So we'll be mowing that in April. And then we might as well lease the soil sampler. So the 2 fields down by the main road, the 2 canola fields that we just bought, those are just planted. So we need to get in there and get some soil samples, and before the crop grows, we should get in there with probably the Massey Ferguson and our new spreader. Well, anytime I say new, it's new to us. But our new spreader, and we'll get some lime down the field, and possibly some fertilizer too if it's needed. Now, I do believe when I was looking at the map, the canola field up by the sheep, I think that was planted last winter, because that was showing like it was further into the crop growth. So I'll either have to get narrow tires to get in there, which the Massey Ferguson may take narrow tires. Not too sure, didn't check. Or I could just leave it until we harvest the crop and take care of it next year. Now, I am thinking maybe that field up there by the sheep, maybe we'll plant clover or alfalfa, which is like a grass type crop. Now, the difference with that, as I said, I think way back in episode 1, alfalfa and clover, even though it's you treat it just like grass, you're only going to get 1 harvest per year out of that crop, not like grass where you get 3 or more, depending on how you want to cut your grass. But from the testing I saw some people do, even though you get 1 cut, you don't get like 3 times as you would if it was grass, so it kind of equals out. It would be the same. So but I think we'll just try a different crop up there and give it a go. But I would like to hopefully by that point have some kind of mowing system. We don't have any mowers or anything like that, so I don't want to get too many grass fields to have to handle. So we'll have to see how that goes. I mean, we're not going to worry about it until it's time to harvest canola, which is August, maybe August, somewhere around there. But yeah, last episode I did ask, with the money we have, what should I do? Buy big fields, small fields, and it was pretty much even in the comments of what we should do. But there was one comment when I read it, I was like, then I started thinking, like, you know what? That would be another part of it, I suppose. And they said, how about I make it a goal to buy every field, which is not that far of a stretch here in Goldcrest Valley because the land is not that expensive. And I think it's definitely within reach. And since we don't have a loan to deal with, I don't want to say we got the cash. We got a decent amount of equipment to start with already. So maybe we'll shoot for being able to own every field. Now, as I buy more and more fields, it's probably going to get to be too much work for one person to handle. So we may buy the fields, but I may not do any work into it. Or maybe by that point, we'll have a whole bunch of equipment. I can really put the Frank family to work. They may have to call their cousins or whatnot to come in and work. We may have a whole bunch of workers going on. But we'll see. I think that we'll kind of make that, you know, a B-side type of goal. In other words, we'll see how it goes, but we could definitely add that as a goal to own every field as we move along. And as for production buildings, I was looking around on the test map when I was testing out the BGA, and the grain mill, which is on the east side, is not like your typical grain mill like you would find for production buildings on the maps. The only thing the grain mill does is basically make flour from the grain that you bring there. It doesn't make the bread, doesn't do anything like that. So you'd have to buy the grain mill, and then you have to buy the bakery in town. Then you can bring the flour to the bakery to make the bread. So I was thinking, do I want to get involved to where I'm moving a lot of pallets around, or do I just want to go forego the production buildings on this map? Because we do productions just about on every map since FS22 came out. Even going back to 19, we did productions. So yeah, I think I might stay away from production buildings other than possibly the BGA and the power plant. We may get into that. But if I get into the BGA and power plant, that will be $350,000, which sounds like a lot, but like I said, we don't have a loan, and we got a good head start here in the farm. We came here in August, here it is March. We got ourselves a combine, a header, 2 tractors, and a spreader for fertilizer and lime. So we're doing rather well for us. We've been kind of lucky in a way on the sales department. We're definitely not going to complain the way it's been going. And I've been really excited every time I wake up in the morning here in Goldcrest Valley, checking the store, like, what's in the store? Could it be something we need? Now, I definitely would like to get, there's a lot of things that we still need on the farm, of course. A trailer would be good, of course. Some kind of a mower would be, and like a butterfly mower would be good, or something like that. I know I would just have to lease like the front mower to make it work completely. Another good size tractor like this 8230, another big size tractor, and of course a drill, and even a corn / sunflower header would be nice. That way we can just mix up the crop just a little bit more. As for like root crop harvesting, the only way I'm going to get involved in that, and that is if the Mark Thor harvester comes up for sale first, and then I'll look at the headers later on if they come up for sale. So not really desired to do that too much. So that's the plan kind of moving forward. So this year it's pretty much harvest, stock up the crops, sell them, and by the fall, if we decide to get the grain mill to make flour, just to make a little bit extra cash. If I do the production buildings, I don't really want to get involved with the factory upgrade mod, because that seems, as we've seen on Hinterland, and we saw a little bit of that issue also on East Violent, of issues, if that is causing the problem of the out of room issue that we find in the factories once in a while. So if I don't do the factory upgrade mod, it's like if I bring grain to the flour mill, it's going to take forever to make flour anyways. So I think we may just go ahead and sell the grain, because I really just haven't just harvested and sold grain. And speaking of grain, switch us over to canola, which we just did. Oh yeah, another thing on our list to buy at some point is a See and Spot weed sprayer. I need to add the Jatco one. If you didn't see the episode on Hinterland yesterday, I think I briefly showed it. The See and Spot sprayer. It's kind of like the Hardy sprayer. It's going to cost like $500,000. Well, for us, if we do buy it, it's going to come from the used section, and then hopefully it would only cost us like I don't know, $300,000, somewhere in there if it's like 50% off. So we still got, like I said, we still got $480,000 in the bank, so we can still buy some more land. But I think we'll just wait until next episode just to let these 3 pieces of land that we bought settled in. I want to get my fields planted, and then we can look at other farmers' fields and see what they planted and move on from there. Now, if they have planted the fields, of course, I don't want to buy a field with like corn or sunflowers into it because we don't have a header for that. So, of course, we can always lease it. But I would just rather buy a field with a crop in that we just go ahead and harvest with our own combine and header. Actually, the only production building I probably may end up buying, it won't be soon, is maybe the spinnery. But I didn't. When I was on the test map, I missed the spinnery somewhere because I don't remember purchasing it, just seeing what the spinnery combination does. So I'll have to go back on the test map, or even look here quickly to see, is it 1 building or is it 2? Oh yeah, well, I've already got the canola in, so double checking this at this point is not going to matter. Oh yeah, it was cotton and then fallow. So that's why this field here pretty much could have taken anything. So if we go to cotton, whoops, and then fallow, and then we put in, wait, I think I went by it. Didn't I not go by it? Oh, there it is. 110% should be the crop rotation. And the bottom right-hand screen, I concur. It says 110%. Expected yield is 86%. Yield potential was 80. That's what you get from bad soil. But I think we should be able to buy almost every field here by the time we leave. I don't want... I hate saying by the time we leave, we're at episode 7. But, I mean, buying every field here, it's going to take a little while. I think the biggest field here is only 500,000. But we are playing on hard economy, so it's not like when we do harvest, you know, wheat, oats, and all that kind of stuff. It's not like when we bring a trailer in, we're going to get a whole bunch of cash, but with no loan kind of overhanging on me for a little while, we are good to go. Just about to finish up the canola field, and I hope I got enough seed and fertilizer to get the barley field done. That way I don't have to go way back to the store just to get that little extra, but I have to. Now these 3 fields here, we're not going to worry about weeds this season because these 3 fields were plowed, so no weeds to worry about here. Yeah, I can see with this 8230, we may have to change that model number by upgrading the engine in this. But I'm not going to do it right away. We're going to hold off onto it because throughout the season, maybe we'll get ourselves a tractor with a little bit more horsepower. This should be planting at 11 miles an hour at top speed, I believe. I'll double check on this in a second, but I think this should plant at 11, not 9. Uphill, it struggled a little bit. When I say struggle, we're down to 9 miles an hour. Let me just see if I drop this drill. Okay, so maybe it is only 9 miles an hour. I thought this one was 11. Not that it matters, but I just want to know for future reference. Okay, so it's 9 miles an hour, so never mind. I thought it was 11. I'm going to bring this John Deere over here, and I'm going to bypass seeding for now, although it will be, of course, planted this month. Let me switch this over to barley so I don't forget. There is barley right there, and I will double check the crop rotation just to be sure. So this field was corn and then fallow. Okay. So this one here, yeah, for some reason these fields were fallow, which is fine. But that means if it was fallow, that means we can almost just about plant anything. So, but barley, 115%. So that's what we want to do. Let me turn off the John Deere. And we're going to teleport to the Massey Ferguson. And let's go down to the cow barn because that's where our spreader is. We'll put the spreader on. And we do got some fertilizer down there. We're just going to quickly fertilize our grass field. And then we'll go to the store. We'll lease the soil sampler. And we'll get the soil samples in these two fields down here. I will double check the one up by the sheep, but I'm pretty sure that crop is probably too high. And like I said, I could swap maybe, row crop tires on here and get the sampling done. Yeah, I'll have to, let's see when I get to the store. I'll see if I can put row crop tires on here. I could have done that back at our own shop. But either way, I'll probably have to pay for them. Maybe like $1,000 or something. This is a S6? Yes, S6713 model number. But we're going to scooch over to the cow barn first and get that fertilized. Not the cow barn, but the grass field. But you knew that. Oh yeah, also while I'm driving over here, I do want to give a big shout out to a longtime friend to the channel, Deuce. If some of you guys probably know him. His channel should be on my homepage somewhere, but he just reached 10,000 subs. So I just want to give him a big shout out and congratulations to him on getting to that milestone. It's a big achievement for sure, getting that far. And if you don't know who Deuce is, go to my home page, and he's one of the friends of the channel. Like I said, go give him a try and give him a sub, a hello, what have you. All right, do we have enough fertilizer in here? Probably not. I think I'll just go up to the store and we'll get the fertilizer. I think I got some leftover fertilizer from filling up the drill. So yeah, you can see that right to our left, the wheat field. And by the way, yeah, because I forgot to do crop rotation in this field, but I got lucky. Bottom right hand corner, you can see crop rotation's perfect at 115%. It was potatoes and oats, and now we got wheat in there. We will get weeds in this field. And we'll cross at the crosswalk, because that's what you do. And we have a bypass. In other words, we don't have to stop at stop signs. I got a hall pass. All right. Massey Ferguson, customize, wheels. Can we put narrows on here? We can. 4,000. Those are narrow tires? I mean they're narrower. But sure. Oh, and this does have a front load attacher on it. I think I mentioned that before, but for $1,000, we're actually going to customize that right now because that doesn't look that bad. That does not look that bad with those narrow tires on it. Oh, yeah, and while we're here, kind of, let's see, miscellaneous. And then we're going to go on down here, and we're going to use a modded Isera. Let's stick with the standard. I think this is a standard size. Is that standard? I forgot, but this is a 32-meter circle working area for soil samples. You can go up to 65, 130, 260. They're all the same price. It may not sound like 260, like, oh, it's not that big. You can probably do like a 1/8 of a map on that one there, just by one drill. We're going to go ahead, oh, almost hit by. We want to lease that. And wait, is that? Nope, that is seed I got left over. All right. No problem. No problem. Big bags. Fertilizer. You're not going to open up for us? Oh, wait, did I put lime in here? That is interesting. I thought that was fertilizer on that side. Okay, so the other ones are fertilizer? Wait, I thought this Kubota did fertilizer. Does it not? I think I'm wrong on that. Fertilizer and... okay. Why aren't you taking the fertilizer? Why am I having a hard time with you? Okay, now it wants to fill up. I suppose. Gotta see what's going on there. Having a hard time with things filling up. Now I gotta double check. I thought I had one leftover case of fertilizer and 3 of the lime, but it must be the other way around. Either way. Alright, so 42 meter working width, so we gotta scroll way back here. It's not gonna take that much because it is a grass field. I was going to hitch up to the soil sampler, but I got kind of flustered there why I wouldn't take the fertilizer. So this will be a very, very good harvest on the grass field. It's going to be the best that it can be. Well, just about. I think we got one harvest in after we limed, so it's almost at its max. But now it's been direct drilled. It's going to have the right amount of fertilizer on it. It's got just about the right amount of pH level on it. So since the BGA only takes loose silage, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to approach this. So, you know, we're going to have more grass than what we need for the sheep. Right now we just got the sheep. Will we get the cows? We'll see how it goes. So if I want to make silage bales, that means I can only sell them at the bale sell point, which is not that bad because the price seemed to be pretty much the same. But if we decide to buy the BGA, then that means we can only bring loose silage up there. So that means if I cut the grass and we got extra, then I need a forage wagon to bring up to the bunkers and compact it, and of course let it ferment, and then use a belt system or some kind of a system to get the silage into the BGA itself. All right, perfectly fertilized. Yeah, the pH value you can see is down a little bit, not a whole lot, but expect to yield 108% out of 100. So that's pretty darn good, of course, depending on where the soil is. All right, so I got to go over here and check the other 3. I mean, I'm guessing these are fertilizer, and I just got this all backwards. Fertilizer, fertilizer, fertilizer. I think I'll leave it there for now. Let's go get the soil sampler. I'm double thinking everything. Let's get the soil sampler and just take the soil samples in the 3 fields. And then we'll see, because I don't know if that farmer fertilized the fields or not. I have no idea. Not a clue. But now I know I got tons of fertilizer. Well, I say tons. For now, we got a good amount of fertilizer. And a little bit of lime. And some seed. Hope they don't mind me leaving some of this stuff up here. Probably should have my beacons on going down the main road. I got to stop there sometime to see what's going on. That speaker is not always on because I went by when I got done planting the wheat field and I was going down to the farm. I didn't hear nothing from that loudspeaker, wherever it may be. So maybe it's only on in the afternoon. Alright, so it looks like I do see maybe an entryway. So this field here to our left is ours. But I think there's a small dirt road that goes up between the fields. Yes, there is. Of course, we got to get the map out. So, of course, narrow tires don't really matter too much here. But the good thing about this modded Icera is when you take a soil sample, it's like a half a second. Just goes click, and you're done. And if you decide to get the bigger models, of course, it'd be just think of the next size up is double this size here. How much how much are you getting done? And that's that's the second to smallest. But imagine multiplying this by 4 times, and that's exactly how big the biggest one is. I think we actually used the biggest one on East Vineland. No, I don't think I used the biggest one. Maybe the third biggest one? I don't remember now. It's been a while. So we're going to have a good amount of canola come this fall. I think it's a good number of fields that we got now. But that doesn't mean next episode we won't be buying more. But we got to get these 3 fields squared away first, and then we'll look a little further. I don't want to spend all my money on the fields. Of course, we want to keep, I think I said like 300 grand in the bank account. Just in case something comes along that we want to buy, I want to be able to have the cash. Because remember, we can't borrow money in this series, and we can't do contracts either, so, and I don't have nothing to sell other than my personality. That's all I got, and that's not worth much, so we got to be careful with the money. Feels kind of weird to say be careful with the money. In the other series, I borrow like $10 million or more and just spend it all. In this series, we got money, and I don't want to borrow any money. I said we got to be careful with it. One little piece here. Alright, I'm going to send these samples off. Oh, that's right, because I got the spreader on the back. I gotta drop that. Hang on a second. And now I can send the samples off. So if you're ever using a soil sampler and you got another implement on your tractor at the same time, you may have an issue of sending the samples off to be analyzed. So just keep that in mind. So, in a way, if you're new to Farming Simulator and you didn't know this, did it analyze the sample I just took? It's actually showing the sample I just took. Yeah, so if you're new to Farming Simulator, or maybe didn't know this at all, the field value, when you're looking at fields, the field value does not change. So, if it has a crop in it ready to be harvested and it's been double fertilized and everything, it's worth the same as if there was no crop in it at all. So what you kind of want to do to help yourself out, if you want to buy a field, but the money is kind of tight, but you got the money to buy the field, and it's the beginning of spring or whatever, what you can do is just save the money up until the fall, just before harvest, and try to do contracts in the field. So, you can get paid to put the crop in, you can get paid to fertilize it, and in the fall, you can buy the field, but just before harvest for the same price you would have in the springtime. But now the field, because you work in it, has a crop in it. It's been, depending on how you're playing, double fertilized or, precision farm fertilized to the right right degree, you're better off just waiting until the fall to fertilize it. But, I mean, not fertilize it, but to buy it. Well, like always, you know, you play the game and have fun. Maybe you want to buy the field yourself, do all the work. Now, the only thing is, with precision farming, I think when you do a contract, if you don't have, like, you got to do the soil sampling in order to put down the right amount of fertilizer. So with precision farming, if you hold off and wait, when you fertilize the field, there's going to be no soil sampling done in the field because farmers don't do that. You're going to fertilize the field to a certain point, and it may not be to the correct amount when you do the soil sampling yourself. Oh, that's right. I'm doing the same thing again. Let's send that off as well. All right, yeah, we can see that how red the field is. That there's not much fertilizer, which is no surprise. Ooh, bouncy, bouncy. So yeah, we're gonna have to. No surprise, like I was just saying, to fertilize, and definitely got to put some pH into it as well. Actually, the pH value is pretty darn good. I can probably get by the year without, you know, putting down lime, but definitely needs fertilizer. But fertilizer is not going to take us too long, and we got a lot of it back at the cow barn. Maybe not enough to get the fields done, but it's going to be good enough, I think. I had to think for a second where I am and where I need to be going, but I'm all set now, I do believe. And this field is the reason why we put row crop tires on the tractor. Oh, that's right. You gotta look for the train. That train's not coming. That train's not coming. There are two different types of, two different trains on this map. So let me go ahead and show you, in case you're wondering. So you can see you got one train here, you got one train here. They both go clockwise. The one on the right, you can see, is passing here, right where we are. And it circles up and around, comes down up here, kind of by our farm. And then, of course, we've seen it cross here a couple times and circles around here. Then, of course, this one right behind us. I hope I'm off the tracks. I think I am. And this one's kind of a shorter circular area here. And it goes around just like that. So when you cross here, be careful that you look both ways for the train. Now, narrow tires, I should be all set to go into the field and not destroy the crop. It looks like we are good to go. Probably should see if I can get this all one go on this side, but I don't think so. Actually, maybe we can here. I'm basically driving, looking at the mini-map in the bottom left-hand corner instead of exactly where my tractor is. Alright, got to back up some. That was too far. That's the only thing that kind of sucks about this soil sampling is it's a radius, you know, the radius is a circle. So you're overlapping quite a bit in some areas. Just to try to get every little bit back of the last piece of the puzzle solved. Now that I'm here, this is a bigger field than I thought it was. But I still think if the situation brings the right conditions, we'll go ahead and put like clover or alfalfa in this in the fall. If I can plant it in the fall, I will. But we're only going to get one cut per year out of that crop, which is fine. I'm not too concerned about that. Now, the only thing about buying more fields this year, the first couple of years, our environmental score, I mean, we're going to be fine. We're going to be above 50. But just like on hinterland, it's going to take a while for all the fields for the score to go up, because we got to harvest off it before it actually resets from all the work that we had to do to get it up to par. And I think I can get one more sample in and we're all done for now. I'm going to keep the soil sampler because, like I said, we could buy some more fields next episode, so I don't want to return this just yet. Let me drop that so I can send the samples off. Yes. And now let me go ahead and lift that up, and I'll fold it in. And we're just going to wait a second here. I'm going to go down and turn it around, actually. And I'm hoping without my fertilizer in here. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get the field done because it's probably going to take more fertilizer than I think. But we're here. We might as well get some of it done. And it's looking like a much better color. So this field actually had some fertilizer into it because it's not all the way down to 0. And I'm done with the fertilizer that we do have. Let me go up here and just say hello to the sheep. Oh, wow. Well, we did go through an entire winter. I was ready to say that's a lot of wool. I wasn't expecting that much, but we got them pretty much the first month. So they've been here 6 months. So yeah, 1,000 liters of wool. And of course, we brought all this grass up. I brought more than what we thought we needed, but it's a good thing that it's kind of here because I don't have to lease something to get the bales up here. So they're just sitting here and they're taking it. Plus, if they need to, we do got the grazing mod, so they will take grass from their pasture, I do believe. At least they were when we started. But yeah, not too bad looking here. We got some wool. We got more fields. They just need some loving care. Let's see what our score dropped down to. Actually, we're up to 58, so that's not too bad. But these fields here, of course, do need some love. And they'll be looking a whole lot better. Same thing with these fields up here. Wait, shouldn't the bottom one... Oh, I didn't plant that one yet. How come that one's not showing the tillage is all the way up like these are? Because you haven't planted any yet, dummy. You're going to get to that here very soon. Oh, well. Yeah, maybe it's time to end the episode because, yeah, I'm starting to lose it even more so than average. So the sheep are looking good. Ooh, your water is getting kind of low, so I may have to lease a tanker. Speaking of, what's in the shop? Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, we're going to bypass that for now. I would just like to get a regular trailer. Thank you very much. But anyways, 3 new fields. We got most of the fields planted. 1 more to go. And I think next episode we'll look at maybe possibly buying some more land. Like I said, not going too crazy because I want to leave at least $300,000 in my bank account. So, you know, no more than $150,000, which is, I think this field up here was 127 or so. So maybe just 1 more field like this size. But we'll have a look around and see. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Goldcrest Valley. But until then, have a good one.